Howdy all, Malex Lives. I think it's time to play a little... Yeah. A little 7 Days to Die. Alright. I meandered on way too long, wasn't paying attention at the time, so I'm gonna start this one over. That's like 50 minutes. It's crazy. So after a couple weeks, I finally feel like I can get back to recording. I've had the worst cold back to back, man. So I had the one cold, and it was like a sore throat thing. And so if I tried to talk for any amount of time, more than like 5 minutes, then my throat would start to hurt. And oh well, we're gonna go get that box instead of digging around this dark house. And I made my iron tools. I'm one book away from making the iron spear. I found the last book for the mini bike. So I am short duct tape. So I'm kind of collecting cloth and stuff to make some duct tape. Okay, you know what? Two things. One, I'm gonna go back to my base. I have a bike. Two, I was gonna go grab that plane, and I am completely full of stuff. So it's been a rough couple weeks. I don't think I have taken a week off of putting out videos since I started. And I reached a point where I couldn't. This last month has just been awful. First I had this weird cold where I'd have a sore throat if I talked to you about time. I have a sore throat constantly, but it would be just very slight, very, very slight. If I talked, it'd get worse, and then I'd lose my voice. And I'd wake up in the morning and I wouldn't have a voice. Mostly because I sleep, I snore, and snoring and sore throats don't go together very well. And then I recorded a couple of videos a couple of weeks ago. And I think that was on like a Saturday or Sunday. And then that Monday, I felt great. It was the first day in like 2 weeks that I didn't feel terrible. Didn't have a sore throat. I could talk again. But Mondays I'm busy with work, and so I don't have time to record. And then Tuesday morning I woke up with a scratchy throat, and breathing was making me cough, and that just got worse and worse. And it wasn't like a purposeful cough. It was, I just coughed. Cough. Breathe in, cough out. Breathe in, cough out. And so there's no way I could talk, because if I tried to talk, I'd start coughing. And so, okay, let's unload. Not that. Gotta keep the cloth. And so that just got worse and worse. But it was never any more than just a cough, really. I guess when I wake up in the morning, there'd be a lot of it's gross, but a lot of phlegm and stuff. But that's because, again, I'm a person who snores when I sleep, and so I think it was just from that. And then, um, and then, yeah. So it's been a rough couple of weeks. Just breathing was making me cough. I need this glue. Maybe these bones and this cloth and this duct tape. Okay. You know what? I have got a beaker in here. Don't know why. I don't have it in my fireplace. Okay. We want glue. Oh, why can't I make this? Bones. Water. Is this the... Oh, super corn. I guess this is the chemistry bench. Same difference, though. Okay, and then... duct tape. Ooh, we can make 11. Not enough. It's not enough. I need, I think I need 15. Oh, no, I don't. I need 6. Why do I think I needed 15? Oh, okay. 6 leather, 6 mechanical parts. Oh, it's 15 forged iron. That's the problem. Forged iron. Electrical parts, mechanical parts. I've already forgotten what else was in there. Leather was in there. Okay, awesome. I keep a little bit of that on me for repairing things. Okay, and then the mini bike is 2 wheels, an engine, and a battery. Wheels, battery, engine. Handlebars. Sure glad I had that bike for one episode. Okay, gotta wait 30 seconds here. Yeah, and so it's just, I don't know. I couldn't talk. I mean, it's been a rough month, I guess, at this point. Feeling better today, though. Feeling good enough to record. Still can feel it a little bit in there. But, nothing like it's been. So I think I'm finally on the uphill swing here. Oh man. So so my sister, she goes in to the doctor and they're like, "Oh, here's a Z-Pack." And I don't go to the doctor. I don't see the point. Like if something was majorly wrong, obviously, but most colds and stuff that I get are viral, I'm sure. And so I go to the dentist. Just I don't go to the hospital when I get a sniffle. And other than that, nothing really ever happens to me. So, at least so far. And so she goes in. She got a sniffle. She goes in. They're like, "Here's a Z-Pack," and so she takes it. And then, however long after that, she went back in, and the doctor's like, "Okay, so the Z-Pack didn't even touch this thing, so obviously it's not anything that you can take medicine for. So we're just gonna have to work the symptoms." And so she gets a nebulizer treatments. So they gave her a setup so she could do it at home. And so she went and she got it. So went to the pharmacy and turned it in, and they give her this box, and she gets home with the box in a bag. When she gets home with the box in the bag, they've given her three ends. You only need one, and the nebulizer pump. Uh, and and they gave her 120 treatments. You could do one every 6 hours. So so that's like 1 month of every 6 hours doing one of these treatments. It's like doing a an inhaler, but through a humidifier kind of thing. And so she's like, "Oh, you gotta do one. You gotta do one. It'll help you. It'll help you." I'm like, She's like, "Here, I'm gonna put one together, and you're gonna do it." I'm like, "Fine." So she gets out one of her new ends, and she fills it up, and she hands it to me, and she's showing me how to hold it. And so I put it in my mouth. She turns it on, and I'm breathing. I'm breathing. I'm breathing. I'm like, man, I don't think it's getting through its stuff. And I'm like, "Are you sure this is the direction you're supposed to hold it in?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely the direction. It's how I hold mine." And so I'm holding. I'm like, man, it's been like 40 minutes of breathing through this thing. I'm tired of breathing through it. And it hasn't barely touched the medicine at all. And so I flip it over, and then immediately when I flip it over, it starts, "Yay, mini bike." It starts working. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure you had me holding this upside down." She's like, "Oh, well, that's weird because that's not how I hold mine." And I'm like, "Maybe yours is different, or maybe you're holding yours upside down." She's like, "Yeah, but I've been using this for a long time now." I'm like, "Well, maybe you've been using it wrong for a long time now." And so I do it, and I'm like, "Yep, this is where I die now. You've made me take medicine that wasn't prescribed for me." And she goes, "Don't say that." So then she does hers, and she's like, "Oh, got the shakes now." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, it's one of the side effects when you do this. You can get shakes." And she holds up her hand. Her hand is just twitching. She holds up both hands, and they're just twitching and twitching. She's like, "Yeah, it's from the medicine." And I'm like, "What? You didn't tell me there were side effects?" And so I hold up my hand, nothing. I'm just like, "Okay, well, apparently I don't get the side effects." She's like, "It happens to me every time." And she's just sitting there, she's just shaking. And oh, let's try to remember what my button to turn my light on is. I thought it was F for flashlight. Okay. What's my button? Vehicle. None of these buttons are for flashlight. Gate. UI. No. Tool belt. No. It's not a movement thing. Toggle light source. F. I don't know. Alright, what we get? Insulated liner. Oh, look, yucca juice. I can use that right now. We got crafting skill. Please, please. Oh, and a wrench. Yes. Sharp sticks. I can now go back and make an iron spear. What is this? Scrapping for fun. Bruce scavenging tool crafting. Okay. Alright, now we go back and make an iron spear. Huh. Here's the thing. I need to mark my base. So yeah, I don't know. It's been an awful couple of weeks for sure. I had the first cold. I get a day off. Next one starts one day after I start feeling better. And today's the first day I've felt maybe that I'm finally getting over it. And yeah, so now I've been talking for almost an hour and 20 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see. I take that as a good sign. Can't believe I have no light on my... What's the point of including the headlamp if I got no light on my mini bike? Let's see. I felt like I had another funny story in there I was going to tell you. I don't remember. I don't remember. I got distracted by the lamps not working on my mini bike, and now it's completely out of my head. Okay, let's go make a iron spear. Whoop. Let's miss the ladder. I watched the Wild Robot last night. That was pretty good. I mean, for what it was. It Okay, what do I need for my iron spear? Iron spear. It's time to upgrade. 16 forged iron. I got the wood. I need 2 leather, 2 duct tape. Forged iron. I think I have 15 forged iron, so I need 1 more forged iron. Yep, 15. Wood. Got the duct tape. What's what I need? Oh, and leather. You know what's weird? No tools, or no parts. So to make these guys, I'd have a legendary part piece. Which I have had 9 of, so I'm good there. Okay. What we got in here? Structural brace mod. Let's get rid of that. Do we got anything else in here I might like? Let's see. This blade modification increases block damage and lowers degradation. Okay. See if that'll go on it. We'll grab that too in case the other one doesn't go on there. Ah, we gotta wait so long. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was like I think there's a movie called like Fly Away Home or something like that, where this little girl raises geese and teaches them how to fly. That the kids used to watch a long time ago. Like my older nieces and nephew, not my younger niece and nephew. And it was kind of like that with a robot, and then at the end, robots attacked. I don't know, it was weird. It was enjoyable though. I watched the new Beetlejuice, didn't like that. Yeah, I watched the old Beetlejuice, I didn't like that. So I guess I probably shouldn't expect it a whole lot. Yeah, we were gonna watch. My brother came over because his wife was having a rafting party he didn't want to be at, and so he came over and um, I thought we would watch. He'd already watched the two Dune movies. I thought he was coming over earlier too. He didn't get here till like 6 at night, so there wasn't a lot we could do in the 3 hours the party was going on, you know. And so I thought he was coming over at like 1. And so I was trying to figure out what we were gonna do, and I thought maybe we watch the new Dune movies, but he'd said he'd already seen them, and so then I was like, oh well, we can watch that new Dune series that started on HBO, Dune Prophecy. And so he came over and he brought this uh, uh, other guy with him, and uh, so they sit down on my couch and I start the Dune Prophecy, and as soon as I start it, it's pretty weird. I mean, I expect it to be weird. It's Dune, but I also am shocked because I really like the old. Okay, cool. I can't get the serrated head on there. Now this adds a chance for stun and slow, and this lowers degradation. I think I'm gonna go with this though. Oh, I can't. Okay. Apparently you can only have one head mod on there. I'll hang on this guy for now, but probably won't ever use him again. There we go. Alright, now we can take advantage of the mini bike and the spear. Well, I don't know about the spear, but the mini bike for sure. And I'm gonna head out and see about grabbing some of my stuff that I stored out along the way. I got those stashes that I was making far away from my base. I will say a mini bike is using a lot of fuel. Could be problematic. So we start up Dune Prophecy, and not 5 minutes after we start it, the one falls asleep on the couch. I'm like, okay, we'll watch something better. So I figured they'd like the other guy would like Beetlejuice, so we started that, and um, he stayed awake for that, but he did not stay awake for Dune Prophecy, which I thought was funny. And you know, I haven't gone back to watch Dune Prophecy, honestly. I don't want to get into a big Dune thing, but you know what? I will. I will. Let's get on the big Dune thing. Uh, I've talked about it before, but I'm a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of. I enjoyed Dune. I've read the books a few times. I've read the original books, at least the first three, more than once, and I own a lot of Dune books, and I've read them. I read all the Dune books I have. I don't have all the Dune books because his son's been writing Dune books, and I haven't read all of those yet. But I read a lot of the. I read the original Dune book, and look at the way the road is filling in as I drive. Okay, now stop. Now that I said that, and I really like the '80s movie Dune. I think it's really fun, and so um, and I think it's a good adaptation of things that would be hard to put on the screen. Mostly because Dune is mostly inside people's heads, and so it's real difficult to, you know, you're supposed to show, not tell in movies. And Dune makes it hard because so much of it is telling in the books. It's all in people's heads. It's all their thought processes behind what's going on, and because the story is actually pretty short without the telling, and so one of the big complaints about the original '80s movie is that there's a lot of narrative overlays, like a lot of voiceovers where they're doing what people are thinking, and then people get really mad because in the book, they've got this thing called the voice, and they've got this thing called the weirding way, and so the weirding way is a type of martial art in the book, and it's sci-fi, so it's way in the future. So the martial art allows you to move way faster than a normal person does, and then the uh, the voice is actually this whole civilization level conditioning thing they've done to the population. It's that thing where the police are like when you hear an order from someone you think is in charge, and you obey it because they're an authority. And so basically in the books, the Bene Gesserit, which is like this church thing, has they're in charge of educating the entire population, and so everyone goes through Bene Gesserit training, and so the training has made it so that you just automatically obey what a sister tells you, because they have a specific way that they intone their voice when they give a command they want obeyed, and so that's called the voice. So to put that into a movie, they changed it so the voice was like a power, and then the weirding way got changed from a martial art into a sci-fi sonic weapon, and I don't know. The people really threw a fit about that, and then they're like, "Oh, well, the main character doesn't have powers, and he's not supposed to be a hero, and blah blah blah." Well, the thing is that in the first book, he has powers and he is a hero. Well, he takes advantage of things to make people think he's a hero. Um, but still, from the point of view of the book, right, he's the good guy, and it's not till the later books where that changes. But in the first book, he comes across as the good guy, and so the movie makes him seem like the good guy. And for whatever reason, people just trash the movie because of this. Like people who are fans of Dune, and I don't understand why. And so then they're all praising this new guy, who I don't like his stuff because I think his stuff is way overblown. I don't think he's as good as people try to make him out to be. I don't know why they like him so much, and I find his movies to be like big swaths of sandstorms that you can't see anything and nothing happens, and so he makes the new Doom book or new Doom movie, right? And they're like, oh, he's gonna make it more true and blah blah blah, and then he changes a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, okay, so you don't like the old movie because it doesn't follow the book exactly, but you like the new movie that also doesn't follow the book exactly. So I hate that. I hate when people are like, I don't like this thing because of this thing, but I like this one. I'm like, yeah, but that one does the same thing. Yeah, but it's different because this is the one I like. Um, I went with their whole spiel on YouTube of watching reviewers of the Dune stuff, comparing the old movie to the new movie, and every single one of them was like, "Oh, the new movie is so much better," and I'm like, but it changes so much from the book in ways that didn't need to be changed. And then I don't know. I'm maybe I'm just a little irritated by what they've done to the Wheel of Time series. But I really am not digging this thing where people are taking old established story things and then changing them to fit a new narrative. But only after promising that they're going to be faithful to the book. Stop making things based off of something, saying that you're going to be faithful to it, and then completely changing what's happening. The Wheel of Time is I have not watched past like the second episode of Wheel of Time season 2 because it's so not it's I don't know how you can go in and look at the characters in the Wheel of Time book and come out the other side saying, I'm going to change things that is central to their character in the story. And also say that I'm going to be true to the book. I don't understand why that was ever a thing. And, okay. Okay, and then my other storage is back. I got 2 more storages back this way. But yeah, I know the Dune series and the Wheel of Time series both have changed so much. I haven't even watched the second part of the new Dune movie yet. I need to. I plan to. I want to. The first one was so long and boring to me, and it did weird things to the story that I didn't understand the purpose of. And there's no way I can sit down and watch part 2 without watching part 1 again, and it was so long and boring to me. I don't know. The first movie doesn't like an hour and a half. The 80s movie was like an hour and a half or something like that. It goes through the whole first book. And then the second one is like meandering and just big swaths of sandstorms that you can't see through, because that's what his other movie was like, the Blade Runner movie. I just remember he does these big epic visual scenes. Like he would be better as the visual director than the actual like I'm in charge of the dialogue and everything director, I think. He just tries to make the movies too artsy and doesn't focus on the meaning enough for my taste, I guess. And I'll admit it, I think I've only watched Blade Runner 2049 twice. I probably should sit down and watch it again. Everybody loves it. I thought it was awful compared to the first Blade Runner. I love the first Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies. And then everybody's like, oh, this one's better. And I'm like, how? How is it better? I don't understand. I understand the story in the first one. I don't know what the point of the second one is. Um, uh, and but yeah. So, anyways, that was a really big meander, and I never even got to my point. So we sit down, we watched Dune Prophecy takes place like thousands of years before. I think it's supposed to be. I don't know. I'll have to look again, but it cracked me up because the few minutes we watched of Dune Prophecy, you know what happens right at the beginning of Dune Prophecy? They make the voice into a power again. I'm like, I thought it was a big deal. It wasn't supposed to be a power. It's back to being a power. Look at that. So all you guys have done is copied the old movie that everybody pans with your new stuff. You're like, oh, well, ours is better. but it's not. You're just taking this stuff from the old movie that everybody said was the worst parts, and now everybody loves them. What the heck? I don't know. I didn't like the just I guess one quick thing was in the book uh in the book they got this character Baron Harkonnen, and he's like cartoonishly evil. Dune is not that deep of a book for the most part. Um, like the dude who wrote it explored some interesting ideas later, but that first book is pretty much just a sci-fi version of Lawrence of Arabia, um, with some cartoonish bad guys in it, and so this Baron Harkonnen guy is like super evil. He's like just super evil, and he's got a disease that makes him all gross and all this stuff. And so in the '80s movie, they made him gross and evil and cartoonishly evil, just like he is in the book. And then the new movie, they're like, oh well, he's so Machiavellian, and and so we want to, they change him, and so now he's like this super serious, and I'm not even close. I was thinking I need to turn here, but he's like this super serious character that uh is nothing like he is in the book, and I just see these people praising how much the new movie is like the book. I'm like, it's not though. It's not. Sometimes sometimes I believe that I operate in a different Mandela frequency than everybody else, and the stuff that I'm aware of doesn't match their reality. I swear. The Mandela effect. When it comes to stuff like this. Sometimes, though, my brain doesn't work right, and I imagine things that I believe to be true, and then they turn out not to be true, and I'm just dumbfounded that they're not true. Um, there was this one time I read this book series, and there's a guy in there who can. I don't know if he can speak to horses, but he can like empath with horses, and so in my mind, there's this whole scene where there's this guy who doesn't want to ride horses because he's huge, and he says that he hates the way the horses look at him. And I remember there being a scene in the book where he gets on the horse, and then the horse guy and the horse communicate with each other, and the horse guy laughs about what the horse says about the big guy sitting on his back, and then the big guy gets all upset because he knows the horse is talking about how he's too big to ride on the horse's back, and it was just one of my favorite parts. It really was one of my favorite parts. And so I'm talking to somebody who had read the books, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that part where they're all getting together, and he's like, I don't want to ride on the horse because I hate the way the horses look at me, because of how big I am." They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, and then he gets on the horse, and then the horse and the horse lord guy talk to each other, and then the horse lord guy laughs about what the horse says, and like, "Yeah, that part's not in there." I'm like, "What? What do you mean it's not in there?" And sure enough, it's not in there. I don't know why that part was in my head that it was real. It happens to me sometimes. So I watch this stuff and people are like, "Oh, blah blah blah." I'm like, that's not what I remember. So I always have to go back and reread stuff and rewatch stuff to make sure I'm not any crazier than I already think I might be. All right. With that, I am going to call it a day. So we bear in the small things, lean the light. I will talk to you later.